Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's so good to have you here. This week I'm sharing with you my turkey stew recipe. It's very easy to make, although it's time consuming, but I bet you it's worth it in the end. So stay tuned and see how I made it. To begin, I make the marinade for the turkey. I'm going to list the ingredients that I used in the description bar, so please do check them out to know exactly what I used. Okay. To my washed turkey, I add some chicken seasoning and then my blended marinade and then some salt, which I'll stir together and then set aside. I left it to marinate for about 30 minutes before I began cooking it. I rinsed out the blender I used for the marinade when I was ready to cook the turkey. I used about a cup of water. Then I left this to cook for about 15 minutes and then I fried afterwards. If you notice, you realize that I didn't add onions when I was making the marinade. I don't usually add onions when I'm making marinades for my meats because when you fry them with the onions, they tend to have this darkish color that I don't really like. This is what I always aim for: golden brown, very beautiful. So you can try that just to compare if you want to always use onions for your marinades. Okay, it makes a huge difference. I also blended these vegetables to start my stew with. Now for the tomatoes, I had these gifted to me, the canned ones, and I wanted to compare it to the one in the bowl. The one in the bowl, I chopped them up myself. I made hot water, placed them in, peeled the skin off, and then cut them without the seed. Okay, so I just wanted to compare. And I don't know if you realize, the one in the bowl has a very vibrant red color as compared to the canned one. Okay, so I just chopped them up slightly. I cut them up with the scissors because the ones I had chopped were smaller in size than that, and I wanted it to cook evenly, so I just chopped it with some scissors and then started my stew with. Now the oil I fried the turkey with is the same one I'll be using for my stew. So I start by frying the tomato paste. I fried it for about 7 to 10 minutes. The aim is to remove the tanginess from the tomato paste, and then afterwards I added the blended peppers, garlic and onions to it. Leave it to boil for a little while. Then I'll bring in my tomatoes, the chopped tomatoes. Now you can choose to blend the tomatoes at this point, before pouring inside the stew. The results will still be the same. For this stew, I just wanted a cut tomato look. I don't know why. Then afterwards, I added the stock from the turkey and then some bay leaves. Then I'll cover this and leave this to boil for a while. I added 1 shrimp seasoning tablets to this and then baking soda as well. The reason I added the baking soda is that tomatoes usually have the tendency of being tangy or sour. Like in my language, we say a komojengpi. I don't know how to explain it in English for it to make sense, but then I hope I'm making sense too. Yes, so that's the point of the baking soda. Okay, and then I give it a good stir and leave it to boil. Now you need to keep an eye on the stew as it cooks. It's not something you leave off. Every now and then you give it a good stir because it has a lot of water in the beginning. So the whole point is for the water to evaporate and your stew to fry for you to know it's ready. I also added some African basil. I have a pot of that in my house, so I add that to it, and then some curry powder and nutmeg. Now note, with the nutmeg, you really want to be careful. Just a little goes a long way. If you add a lot, you ruin your stew. You can also taste at this point and adjust the seasoning if need be. If you need to add extra salt, you do so. I felt mine was okay because I'd already added salt to the stock and all of that, so I didn't add any extra seasoning from this point on. I also decided to scoop off most of the oil off of the stew because turkey has a tendency of soaking up oil from your stew, and moreover, it's not healthy too. So the aim of the oil is just to fry the stew. Once that's done, I just like to scoop it off. I don't need it in my food. The last thing I add to the stew is a fried turkey, and then I'll give it a good stir, then just lower the flame and leave it to simmer beautifully, and then the stew is already and done. The total cooking time for this stew was about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So this is one of the stews where you can quickly whip up and then enjoy. Okay, it takes time. It's a labor of love, but in the end, you're rewarded with a beautiful pot of deliciousness. Okay, so do make some for yourself if you haven't in a while, and I bet you will enjoy it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Oh, and I forgot, I served this with some rice, and I enjoyed it so much. So thank you for watching. God bless you, and see you in my next one. Bye.